Greetings and salutations, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of Game Break. I am Charles, coming to you today with another episode of Everlasting Summer. Now, last time round, Shurik had randomly disappeared, and we went looking for him a little bit. Kinda took our time with it, then got distracted at the infirmary for various reasons. And I forget exactly where we left off last episode, but still no clue where Shurik is, so maybe we'll find him this time round. Hopefully he's okay. It is a bit odd that he hasn't been found yet. So let's dive right back in, shall we? Along the way, I ran into Electronique. How is it going? Did you find Shurik? No, still no sign of him. Don't worry. We'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner? No, finding Shurik is more important. He muttered, thoughtfully. Fair enough. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in the doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in the line, at least for today. And I was lucky. In the far corner was an absolutely empty table. I took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. Wait, fruit soup? What is a fruit soup? I'm intrigued by this. How do you make fruit soup? Like, is it a cold soup, I would presume? Kind of like gazpacho, but with fruit? This set surprised me at first, but the taste was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Miku. Lena, let's go here! Look! 3 free chairs! Lena and Miku stood in front of me. Are these taken? Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course, I wish she were alone. Thank you. As soon as Lena said that, Xenia jumped out from behind her back. I'll sit here. There are no places left, she said, putting her tray on the table and sitting down, not even waiting for my answer. Sure, make yourself at home, I muttered sorrowfully. What? Nothing. To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena, though neither Miku nor Xenia were causing much trouble. Except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. But nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others I could name. Oh, seems like I forgot my key. Don't worry, take mine. I was surprised by Miku's short reply. Do you live together? Of course, didn't you know? Together, our cabin is the rearmost. I mean, the farthest from here. I mean, the last one. I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or with Xenia, at worst. Even Electronique. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talkative Miku as a pair? That's really a surprise. Did you find Shurik? It's strange that Xenia is disturbed by someone's problems. No. Surely he is at the village buying cigarettes. Or vodka. She snorted. Village? At that moment the conversation got much more interesting. Got a problem with villages? Xenia looked amazed. You mean there's a village nearby? I think so, she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with their meals and did not pay attention to our conversation. You mean you don't know exactly? Why should I care? Xenia stared at her dish. But there must be something nearby.
Listen.
Listening.
I don't know. Will you let me eat?
Seems like I won't be getting anything from her, though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense. I was just going slowly mad in silence. Obviously, the first thing I did after getting out after that was inhale a great breath of fresh air. The sun was setting. I decided to take a walk. It's highly unlikely that I will find anything more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. That way, something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. What's with this music? What's going down? It seemed like something had exploded. I was paralyzed. I'm in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run. But at the same time, I was curious. This music is making me nervous. Like, this is some pretty serious music. What's going down? Probably I would have to just keep standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga.
Why are you standing here? Let's go see what happened.
Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully.
It shouldn't be anything serious. I hope.
When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached the crime scene. Obviously, someone had tried to blow up Genda, but the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There was only dim ash traces on the pedestal.
Well, who did this?
She looked over the crowd of pioneers. Surely it wasn't done by an organized terrorist organization. These guys all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Oyana and Elisa in the crowd, and it looks like our camp leader noticed them too.
You two, come here!
They approached reluctantly.
Why always me? If you think so, show me your hands.
Oh, it's been forever since I've done those, and I can't do it in another voice.
What's wrong with them?
I looked closer and saw that they were smeared with black.
Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with?
The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but then blurted out proudly,
Activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur.
"Ah, crap."
Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter for the rights of... Besides, he gave me activated carbon.
She pointed at me with her finger. The whole square stared at me. Thoughts about the pointlessness of this act due to the small bomb size left me at that very moment. She stole it. No, you gave it to her. I did nothing. No, you gave it to her.
Even if he gave it to you, I'm sure that Semyon would never take part in such disgusting antisocial acts.
Yes, exactly. I agreed. I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Elisa if Electronique hadn't popped out at that very moment shouting,
I found it! I found it!
Found what? Everyone turned towards him. He held a boot in his hand.
Here!
Electronique boastfully shook it over his head.
It's Shurik's boot!
Ah, crap.
Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail where you found it.
In the forest. Can you be a little more specific? On the way to the old camp. Wait, old camp? You mean there's a camp older than this camp? Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp. The old camp.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. What's so special about this old camp? I joined in the conversation.
It's nothing special, really.
She stammered. One of the Sovyunok's legends tells the story of a young camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself.
She committed harakiri with a kitchen knife.
Well, that's dramatic.
Next day, that boy was hit by a bus.
That's just sad. Ulyana ran out of the crowd. Bus? I refrained from asking about the route number. But science doesn't acknowledge the existence of ghosts, so we have nothing to be afraid of.
Anyway, someone should go there.
Gee, I wonder who. Suddenly, the crowd started to thin out.
Olga, it's almost night. Maybe tomorrow.
I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena.
What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now.
By the way, where is this place? Electronique roughly described to me the directions and told me the story of the old camp. The camp leader looked at me attentively. If you think that
You're the only man here.
Electronique. I mean, granted, between Electronique, Shurik, and I, there's 3 guys here, but come on. I looked around the area. Of course, Electronique was quick to flee. Aw, you little. I still didn't want to walk in the woods alone. If you ask me, I would... Oh. Lisa, Slavia, Ulyana, Lena, or alone. No, it's definitely better to go with someone. I don't know. Lena would be fun just to progress her character, but how much use is she gonna be? Ulyana, yeah. Slavia. Elisa would be scary and intimidating. That would just be fun conversation times. No, I kind of want to see where the conversation could go with her, even if it goes downhill. We're already screwing things up. I don't think we're getting a good ending at this point. I won't have to go there alone, will I? Olga thought for a moment.
You may be right. We'll go together tomorrow.
For the last few minutes, I'd noticed that Lena had a strange look on her face, as if she wanted to say something but didn't dare to. The pioneers started to disperse, as if they had forgotten about Elisa and the explosion. Even our leader seemed to calm down and didn't react when the wannabe terrorist left the square, hiding behind Ulyana. How does Elisa hide behind Ulyana? Ulyana's pretty short.
We should go too.
Yes. Night quickly fell on the camp. There's only a brief moment between the first rays of the setting sun till complete darkness here in the south. Or maybe in this world, you don't have enough time to enjoy the variety of the sunset colors. It was too early to go to bed, but the leader confidently walked to her cabin, as if mentally dragging me with her. Olga, I'll take a little walk.
Okay.
She looked at me intently, but didn't find any reason to object, shrugged her shoulders, and kept walking. I went back to the square. I didn't really want to look closely at the trivial damage done to the Genda statue. It was at the exact center of the camp. If you don't know where to go, you should start from there. I sat on the bench and looked to the west. I wondered if the earth here revolves on its axis as it should, or whether there was an actual north or south. It's hard to say. At that time, I didn't have any ideas on how to check the fundamental laws of nature.
Hi.
Lena appeared next to me as if from nowhere. "Hi. Can't sleep?" She looked at me in surprise. "Well, yes, it is still early."
May I sit?
"Yeah, of course. Sit down." I moved over a little. Saying a little was in fact an understatement. I actually shifted myself to the end of the bench.
Thanks.
Lena sat and looked at the sky as if she'd forgotten about me.
It's sad.
What is sad?
That Shurik disappeared.
Yes, things aren't too good. She was as calm as usual, keeping silent most of the time. She blushed and felt embarrassed only when she had to speak or do something. That same silence, which could be seen as awkward by many people, including myself, was quite natural for her. I could hardly imagine Lena making an effort to carefully choose the right words to start a conversation, or make a good remark, trying not to look stupid, or alternatively trying not to look as rude as Elisa. I just wasn't able to compare her to anyone. She was just content with being herself. Does that mean that my attempts to start a conversation with her could be seen as rude? That the expression "become friends" could be interpreted as an intrusion into her private life? But something in this girl attracted me. Maybe it was her mysteriousness, and she certainly wasn't lacking in appearance or feminine charms. I didn't have an answer for that. That's why I still hadn't been openly accused of being annoying. I'm sure he'll be found. How can you escape from a submarine? Lena didn't seem to appreciate the joke. This camp must seem like a large submarine to me only.
I hope so.
Tomorrow, Olga will call the police. They'll find him for sure.
And what if during the night?
Her expression grew sad. What if something happens to him? Alone, at night, in the forest. Anything could happen.
He must be lonely.
No one forced him to go there.
What if he just got lost?
He shouldn't go walking in the forest alone.
You don't have any pity for him at all. Shurik may be sitting there all alone.
Of course I pity him. I felt ashamed. In any case, Lena was right. A person was missing.
Anything could happen during the night.
We aren't seriously going to go search for him now, are we? She didn't reply, still looking somewhere far away, where the last rays of the sun shined over the tops of the old trees, as if trying to leave a bit of its warmth with the people. Do you really think that roaming around the forest in the dark is a good idea?
Probably not.
For some reason I was sure that was exactly what she thought. Recently, I seemed to be starting to understand Lena, even without words, more often, and she seemed to be influencing me psychologically, making me agree with her. Lena's silence was more informative than any chatter or attempts at persuasion. They looked for him during the day already.
Everywhere?
She stopped watching the sunset and looked at me. I don't know. I think everywhere.
What about the old camp?
For the first time her words sounded self-assured and not vague or indifferent. Where is it? I have no idea.
Electronique told us.
Well, if you trust him. I grinned stupidly, but Lena kept looking at me seriously. Sure, if it's not too far.
So, you do want to go?
Of course I don't. We can, if it's just there and back, quickly.
Okay.
Lena smiled and gave me a flashlight, which appeared from nowhere. Yes, that'll be useful. Does this mean she's prepared beforehand, and nothing was up to me? I sighed as if doomed and headed to the forest with her. Night fell on the camp. We walked slowly. Lena was next to me, near but not too close. It was strange, but it looked like she wasn't afraid of anything. Moreover, she didn't seem to be bothered much about what we were doing, as if we weren't walking in the forest at night, but just watching a movie with other people playing leading roles. Actually, Electronique said that the old camp was not too far, and if we walked straight to it, then it would be hard to get lost. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure that we were walking straight, and after a few more, it started to seem that it would be a miracle for us even to get out of here. But I didn't want to lose face before Lena, so I tried to walk cheerfully. The forest was full of silent, flickering shadows and gleaming moonbeams. The grass quietly rustled under our feet, and the branches rustled over our heads. Old oaks stood next to young birches. Large mushrooms emerged from under the latter, as if taking off their large hats in salute. On any other day, or rather, at any other time of the day, it would have looked really beautiful. It may be safe at night, too, but nevertheless, I shuddered at each gust of wind.
Look!
Lena pointed forward. I rubbed my eyes and saw a gap between the trees. Oh, that's not creepy. In a moment, we were in a rather large clearing. In the middle of it stood a building, which looked like a village school or a kindergarten. The paint was falling off the walls. There were several holes in the roof, like the aftermath of a bombing, and the glassless windows looked at us sadly and a little threateningly. It was not a very pleasant sight. I couldn't remember how I'd imagined this place a moment ago. It was like all the images had been erased from my memory, replaced by this depressing graveyard view. Excuse me. Well, it's creepy. Lena was still standing silently, but a natural expression of fright appeared on her face.
Do you think he is in there?
I have no idea. If I was Shurik, then a haunted house would be the very last place I'd hide in.
Shall we go?
I didn't manage to answer. The moon appeared from behind the clouds and illuminated the clearing with new colors. Actually, in one color, the white of a grave. I could see more clearly the distant trees, the mist shrouding them. Felt like the temperature dropped several degrees, making me shiver.
Are you afraid?
Lena asked calmly. Honestly. She smiled almost imperceptibly and took my hand. It would have caused a storm of emotions in any other situation, but at that time it felt like a basic necessity. We slowly walked to the building. Walking through the playground, I pushed a merry-go-round, causing it to creak nastily as it made half a turn. Lena shivered and grasped my hand tighter. Sorry, I probably just remembered my childhood.
Did you like merry-go-rounds?
Yes, actually. I don't know. I don't remember. Probably. All children like them.
I didn't like them.
Why?
I got dizzy when I rode them.
No wonder if you spin too fast.
I like swings more.
Well, you can get dizzy on a swing as well.
But why would you?
I don't know. That conversation had distracted me a little, and I stopped worrying myself about everything. About Shurik, about our night trip, about Lena. After all, this world is not so alien. Finally, we reached the doors. Creepy. The inside of the old camp building reminded me of a kindergarten, the one I attended in my childhood. At first glance, even the room arrangement was the same. Shurik! Shurik! Grave-like silence replied to us. Even the wind outside had calmed down. Looks like nobody is here.
We should check anyway.
Lena's courage still didn't cease to amaze me, or should I say, her lack of normal preservation instincts didn't. I don't know if this behavior is strange for this girl or not. Okay, let's do it. We thoroughly examined all the rooms of the old camp. I even inspected the attic. There were signs that people had visited this place everywhere. Newspapers, empty bottles, and other garbage, but there were no sign of Shurik. We returned to the hall where we had started our search. What should we do next?
I have no idea.
Lena sat on the steps and stared at her feet. I think we should get back. I began carefully. It's late, and can just the two of us really search the entire forest for him?
You may be right.
She looked sad, and her expression let me know that the search was not over yet. Well, I am. I waved my hands in resignation and sat next to her. We should think about the worst outcome.
Are you saying...
No, but are there any wild animals around?
I doubt it.
Lena calmed down at once. He may be sleeping somewhere. He'll wake up in the morning and return to camp.
Yes, of course.
I jumped to my feet and started to walk in circles around the hall. I really wanted to leave this place, to get out from the forest, but it was as if Lena's behavior was keeping me here. I wanted to go on trying to persuade her, but then I noticed something on the floor. It was a trapdoor. There were little heaps of garbage and dust around it. It must have been opened recently. Look.
Do you think Shurik is there?
Lena squatted and carefully pulled on the hatch's handle. It may not be Shurik, but someone surely used it recently. I had already regretted finding that damn gate to hell.
Let's check it out.
The trapdoor wasn't very heavy, so you could open it without much effort. I directed the flashlight into it and saw a ladder going down a couple of meters. Looks like a cellar.
Let's go down?
I looked at Lena for a few moments, trying to understand what was on her mind. Did she have a craving for adventure like Ulyana? So where is her youthful spirit then? Or maybe she just went a bit nuts. Lena didn't seem like a crazy person. But anyway, who even said she really is a human and you can evaluate her with human behavioral logic? That thought should have scared me, but somehow I didn't pay it any attention among the millions of other thoughts. Some of them were more important. For example, what could be down there? Creepy tunnel. I climbed down and looked around. Everything is okay. After I made sure that there was nothing to be afraid of, I called Lena. We stood in the long corridor, which certainly wasn't a cellar. Its architecture more resembled KGB dungeons, or a subway maintenance tunnel. I don't know which would be better. There were countless wires along the walls, fastened by metal hooks every half a meter. There were lamps under the ceiling, covered by rusted shades. Crumbled concrete crunched under our feet unpleasantly.
Shall we go?
Lena, without any emotion. Where to? There?
Well, yes, what if Shurik is there?
What would he be doing there? In any case, I wasn't really able to refuse her today, so we forgot about our fear and headed into the darkness. Lena walked next to me, holding my hand. The silence of the dungeon was interrupted only by the sound of our steps and water dripping from the ceiling. We moved forward slowly, maybe too slowly. I suddenly felt a surge of claustrophobia. I gritted my teeth and squeezed the torch, but loosened my grip at once, fearful for breaking our only source of light. Lena kept silent, and her silence seemed louder than any words. I started to fear. Say something.
door.
What?
There's a door.
She pointed forwards. We came to a massive metal door with a biohazard sign. Looks like a bomb shelter.
Yes, I'd heard something about it.
Why is it here?
I have no idea. Maybe because of the Cuban Missile Crisis?
That would be pretty odd. Cuban. I estimated the approximate time of constructing the camp. Makes sense. However, building a bomb shelter here was like building an airport at Faggot in Northumberland, or Lacock in Wiltshire, in the UK. It wasn't deep enough and too far from civilization. The door wheel dully creaked. I had to push it with all my strength before it turned a couple times. I made up my mind and opened the door with difficulty. We entered the room, which seemed to be the main living quarters. There were some beds, cases, some scientific equipment. They had been thoroughly prepared for a nuclear apocalypse. We didn't find any signs of Shurik there, though.
Look!
Lena was holding a flare gun and smiling. Why would I need it?
To fight monsters.
There are no monsters here. At least, I wanted to believe that.
If you say so.
I guarantee it. I didn't want to upset her, so I tucked the flare gun into my belt. It might come in handy. We thoroughly searched the room once again. There were 2 exits. The first was the door we had entered, and the other one was another door exactly the same in the left wall. For a moment, I felt excitement, the urge to reach the end of this labyrinth and to learn what prize awaited me there. However, this surely wasn't a computer game, and there is no option to save.
Maybe with this.
Lena offered me a rather big crowbar. No, I'll give it a try without it first. However, the door didn't want to budge. It only creaked nastily and the door wheel didn't turn a millimeter. Okay, give it to me. It was too easy with the crowbar. In the end, the obstacle collapsed, hitting the floor loudly. The hinges were rusted completely through. I pointed the flashlight into the passageway. There was a corridor just like the one we'd come here through.
Let's go?
It was like Lena was constantly driving me on. Where are you rushing to?
Me? I'm not.
She blushed in confusion. Again, what should I make of her? First, she doesn't fear a thing. Then she gets lost after a word. You look like you don't fear anything.
I don't know. What should I fear? You will protect me anyway.
She added, barely audibly. So Lena is counting on me. She believes in me no matter what. It's possible. Stupid, naive, but possible. I knew clearly that I couldn't protect anyone, even myself. Nothing is up to me in this world. The powers that brought me here could do anything. That didn't exactly mean that inevitable death awaited me in the end of the tunnel. It could be lying in wait anywhere in this camp. Let's go. I tried to walk faster, but Lena seemed to not be bothered by that, and she easily kept pace with me. This corridor was exactly the same as the previous one, in every last detail. There was nothing shocking about it, but at some point I got the feeling that we were walking in circles. The flashlight in my hand started to tremble visibly. The spot of light jumped all over the walls and the floor, and suddenly it lit up a rather big hole. The hole wasn't too deep, and down below we could see rails.
What's down there?
Looks like a mine.
Shall we have a look?
Why not go further along the corridor?
I don't know. I think we should go down there.
I estimated the height. It would be possible to pull ourselves out. Okay, let's check it out. I jumped down the hole and helped Lena to get down. It really was a mine. Wonder what they could have mined here. What minerals are there in this area?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, stupid question. Looks like there are none now. We headed into the darkness. It was hard to walk because I couldn't choose where to trod, wobbly wooden planks or uneven ground. I wasn't able to stick closer to the walls either. The narrowness of the tunnels forced us to stay between the rails, and I didn't want to let go of Lena's hand. Oh no. Finally, we reached a fork. Just great.
Where should we go?
Where? I'm not certain that we'll be able to get out of here at all, especially if we're gonna play Pac-Man.
Play what?
Never mind. We'll get lost.
What if there is an exit, too?
I mean, logically, there should be. There may be one, and what if there isn't?
So, should we go back?
I bit my lip till it bled, and I yelled as loud as I could. Shurik! The loud echo rebounded from every direction at once. Soil even fell from the ceiling in some places. See?
Then I will go on alone.
Wait, what? What? I grinned stupidly. Alone? Where to?
We must find Shurik. He may be...
Lena blushed at once and stared at the ground. No, that won't do. If we go together.
Okay, then let's go.
She smiled and took my hand. How does she manage that? But first we should... I took a sharp stone from the ground and scratched a cross in one of the beams which supported the walls. Now we know where we started.
Let's go right.
It seems that there's another fork in the road. Fuck.
I don't know what the right answers are. Let's go right again.
It seems that there is another fork in the road. If we go right again. Finally, the tunnel has led us into a hall with a high ceiling. Although it hardly could be called a hall, it seems something was mined here. Maybe coal or gold. The walls had been cut by pickaxes or pneumonic drills. This place was pitch black, so our only salvation was the flashlight. If it breaks, it's unlikely we'll ever get out of there. I noticed a red piece of cloth in its light. It was a pioneer neckerchief. Shurik was obviously here somewhere.
What the hell is he doing down here?
Shurik! Shurik!
Shurik!
Only echoes answered us.
He must not be too far away since we found the scarf here.
Frankly speaking, I was mostly wondering where here actually was. Where could he have gone from here? There were no other exits from this room. Certainly it was possible that there were other places in these tunnels we hadn't visited yet. That means that we have to keep searching for him. Seems that there's another fork in the road. Oh, fuck. A maze! Alright, we took a right, and a right, and we hit that. So are we backtracking back to the last thing we did, or what if we just keep going right? I'm just gonna keep going right until stuff happens. Around the next turn, a wooden door appeared in the light. At least it's something.
What?
At least it's not another fork.
What's in there?
We don't have any choice but to check it out. I strongly pulled the handle and opened the door. There was a room behind it, which might be one of the maintenance rooms for the bomb shelter. Empty bottles and cigarette butts were scattered everywhere. The walls were all covered with scribbles. So that means there's another exit from here. I didn't want to believe that the people who had left all that had come the same way as we did. Sadly, Shurik wasn't here. Oh. I slid down the wall to the floor. We must have been everywhere now.
Not everywhere.
Lena pointed to the door in the corner. Looked similar to the one leading into the bomb shelter. There probably should be an exit, as you said.
Shall we go?
You keep asking me that. Let's rest for a moment.
Okay.
Lena sat next to me, very close, and took my hand.
It's all right.
What do you mean?
That we haven't found Shurik.
We should think about getting out ourselves.
We'll get out.
Yes, I probably remember the way. We just take all lefts back. Or at least I thought that I remembered it.
I'm not afraid at all.
She suddenly said after a short pause. That's good.
Because I'm with you.
Aw. Suddenly, there came a noise from behind the door to the mine. I jumped up at once and started looking for something I could use as a weapon. The noise of heavy footsteps was getting closer. Are you fucking kidding me? Finally, the door opened and Shurik appeared from behind it. In the silence, I froze, staring at him. The fuck? There you are! Do you think you could hide from me? What? Did you think I wouldn't find you? But I did. He wasn't sane, that was for sure. His face was distorted by a scary grimace. His eyes gleamed behind his glasses. The missing pioneer held a metal rod in his hand. Are you mad? It's us. Yeah, I can see it's you. He took a couple steps towards us. You look cranky. I instinctively shielded Lena. Did you think you could make a fool of me? Leading me here and there, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and I followed. I followed. Oh shit. He raised the metal rod. Everything after that was like it happened in slow motion. Shurik charging at us, me pushing Lena out of the way, the rod slowly arcing towards my head, my hand with the flashlight going up. Following all of that, complete darkness, rapid breathing, blood hammering in my temples, silence. Dreadful, heavy silence merging with the darkness. I moved my hand trying to find the wall when I felt someone's touch.
Don't be afraid.
I heard a familiar voice near me. Where are you, you damned lunatic? I shouted.
He left.
Which way did he go? Where to? Lena's voice didn't sound too calm, but certainly it didn't sound like it should in such circumstances.
Calm down.
She hugged me tenderly and pressed her body against mine. I tried to gather my senses, to recover my breath, to adapt to the darkness. What should we do next? We're gonna have to find that out next time. What the hell is going on in this camp? All that fuss for trying to find Shurik, and he tries to beat me up with a metal rod in the darkness in a mine that until now we didn't even know existed there. A mine that's you find from a bomb shelter in the old camp, which just looks abandoned and ghostly and scary and freaky and everything. How are we going to get out of this? We're going to have to find out next time. As always, hit the subscribe button so you can find out what happens next, and check out all the other videos we do, and post a comment. What do you think's going to happen? Should I have taken some lefts instead of rights? Is that where I made the mistake? What the hell is going on in this weird camp? Let me know. And until next time, go be creative.
Thank you.
As soon as Lena said that, Xenia jumped out from behind her back.
I'll sit here. There are no places left,
she said, putting her tray on the table and sitting down, not even waiting for my answer. Sure, make yourself at home, I muttered sorrowfully.
What?
Nothing. To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena, though neither Miku nor Xenia were causing much trouble. Except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. But nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others I could name.
Oh, seems like I forgot my key. Don't worry, take mine.
I was surprised by Miku's short reply. Do you live together?
Of course, didn't you know? Together, our cabin is the rearmost. The farthest from here. The last one.
I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or with Xenia at worst. Even Elektronik. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talkative Miku as a pair? That's really a... Greetings and salutations, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of Game Break. I am Charles, coming to you today with another episode of Everlasting Summer. Now, last time round, Shurik had randomly disappeared, and we went looking for him a little bit. Kinda took our time with it, then got distracted at the infirmary for various reasons, and I forget exactly where we left off last episode, but still no clue where Shurik is, so maybe we'll find him this time round. Hopefully he's okay. It is a bit odd that he hasn't been found yet. So let's dive right back in, shall we? Along the way, I ran into Elektronik. How is it going? Did you find Shurik? No, still no sign of him. Don't worry. We'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I decided to take a walk. It's highly unlikely that I will find anything more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. That way, something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. What's with this music? What's going down? It seemed like something had exploded. I was paralyzed. I'm in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run. But at the same time, I was curious. This music is making me nervous. This is some pretty serious music. What's going down? Probably I would have to just keep standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga.
Why are you standing here? Let's go see what happened.
Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully.
It shouldn't be anything serious. I hope.
When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached the crime scene. Obviously, someone had tried to blow up Genda, but the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There was only dim ash surprise.
Did you find Shurik?
It's strange that Xenia is disturbed by someone's problems. No.
Surely he is at the village buying cigarettes. Or vodka.
She snorted. Village? At that moment, the conversation got much more interesting.
Got a problem with villages?
Xenia looked amazed. You mean there's a village nearby?
I think so,
she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with their meals and did not pay attention to our conversation. You mean you don't know exactly?
Why should I care?
Xenia stared at her dish. But there must be something nearby.
Listen.
Listening.
I don't know. Will you let me eat?
Seems like I won't be getting anything from her, though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense. I was just going slowly mad in silence. Obviously, the first thing I did after getting out after that was inhale a great breath of fresh air. The sun was setting. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner?
No, finding Shurik is more important.
He muttered thoughtfully. Fair enough. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in the doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in the line, at least for today. And I was lucky. In the far corner was an absolutely empty table. I took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. Wait, fruit soup? What is a fruit soup? I'm intrigued by this. How do you make fruit soup? Like, is it a cold soup, I would presume? Kind of like gazpacho, but with fruit? This set surprised me at first, but the taste was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Miku.
Lena, let's go here. Look, 3 free chairs.
Lena and Miku stood in front of me.
Are these taken?
Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course, I wish she were alone.